Hi there, this is Tammy with Tammy's Stamping Therapy. Today I'm going to be sharing a Christmas project with you. This will be one of 6 that I'll be posting over the next 6 weeks. I received an invitation from Danielle, who is the Unicorn Crafter, to participate in a Christmas collaboration. She has several different crafters who will be posting their own Christmas project each week for the next 6 weeks. So I'm going to get started with mine. This is a project that I've made several different years. It sells well at craft fairs, and I've used it for classes. It is a Rosette Christmas tree. Here is a completed one. This one is made using the brightly gleaming designer paper from Stampin' Up, and I used the copper foil elements, and I also used the stitched stars framelits that are in the current holiday catalog. I really love these stars, all of them, and how they nest together, so I'll be doing other projects with them at a later time. So this is the one that I've already made. This one has 7 layers. These are rosettes, so you cut your paper and score it at 1/2-inch intervals and fold it, and then you stack them together to make these cute little rosettes. So the one I'm making today, I'm using the Toile Tidings Designer Series paper from the Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. I've already made part of the tree, so I'm using just red and green, and I think this is a lot of fun. I love this gingham, and this paper is the same print on each side. One side's garden green, the other side is real red, so it's a lot of fun. So I've done the middle of the tree already, and I'm going to show you how I did the bottom and the top. The tree has 7 layers, and they go from 3/4 of an inch up to 2 1/4 inch, and each is 1/4 inch longer than the one before it. The top layer, that is 3/4 of an inch wide, is 11 1/2 inches long. I've already scored it. It's hard to see on this pattern, but I've already scored it at 1/2-inch intervals, and I've put tear-in tape on one end. So I'm going to show you how to make a rosette with this. The narrower the paper is that you're using, the more difficult it is to get it to form into a rosette, and you'll see that in just a minute. So I have folded that up, and I'm trying to make it all sort of uniform. There are different ways you can do this to make it perfect, but in the interest of time, I'm doing it this way. So I folded it all up, and then I am smashing it all to kind of burnish all those creases, and then I have this fun little zigzag. Now I need to attach the ends together. So I'm going to do that like this. Sorry, it's morning and my voice doesn't always work great in the morning. And then I cut out of the backing that comes in our designer papers, I cut 1-inch circles using my 1-inch circle punch. And then for the base, I use the starburst punch to punch this out. So I'm going to put this on the back of this rosette. I want the red to be on top, so I'm going to put the backing on the green part. So the way you do the rosette is let it do its little thing, and as I said, this size is the most difficult to get to conform, and you just have to force it into a little rosette pattern, and then you got to hold it there. And then I'm going to put hot glue on the top of it, and I'm making sure the hot glue touches all of the different pieces of the rosette. And I'll put this on top and smush it down, kind of let the pleats even themselves out a little bit, and then I'm going to hold this. One thing I don't like about hot glue is the strings that it makes. So with that one little bit of glue, and I have strings everywhere. I'm also looking for the perfect hot glue gun, so if you have one, if you could let me know what it is and where you got it. I like this one because it has its own stand, so that works fairly nicely, except that the glue is always coming out of the tip. That's very frustrating because I feel like it wastes a lot of glue. Now, if you don't hold this long enough and you set it aside before the glue has set, it's gonna all come undone. I'm on a glass mat, which is cold, so I'm thinking that it set the glue up quicker than it normally would have. Now I will go to the bottom one. This one has a 6-inch piece and a 12-inch piece to make it a big enough rosette. So I'm using tear and tape to join the two together. These are 2 1/4 inches wide. So the first thing that I'll do is add this. Add the smaller piece to the longer piece. I'll burnish that on there. And then the same way I did the other one, I'm just going to start folding this up. This one is 6 inches longer, and it's also a lot wider, so there's a lot more bulk to deal with here. I'm doing only one holiday bazaar this year, but it's a 2-day one, and it's their 20th year, so they get really good traffic. I've done this same one every year for 5 or 6 years. So there are people who are looking for me, which is always nice. If you keep going to the same ones, people will remember you and they'll come back looking for your stuff every year. So this one is kind of bulgy in the middle, but when it's in the rosette, you're not going to be able to see any of that. See, that looks really short, but it really is 18 inches long. Well, 17.5 because it's layered for a 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to make this one a circle. Same way I did the other one. I like to use tear and tape for this stuff because it's immediate stick. You don't have to hold it, and it sticks well. This one also needs to be red, so I'm going to put the green. I'm going to put the base on the green part. So then I'm going to do, see how much easier that was than the first one? The first one was pretty difficult just because it was so tiny. And this time I'm going to go out a little farther with my glue. I am wasting some down in the wells, but I want glue out as far as possible so that this will work well. And then I'm going to push this down. One nice thing when working with a glue gun, is you'll see right here, this is my silicone craft mat. So my glue gun is dripping onto it and it doesn't stick or ruin it. This craft mat just comes clean. You don't have to worry about messing it up. It has many uses. So I'm going to flip this over and push it down. And you'll see why there's green on my finger in just a minute. You see how I let go of that and it starts to ooze out, so I need it to stay. There will be a list in the description below of the other crafters that are participating in this collaboration, so I would encourage you to go check out all of their projects as well. I cannot wait to see what they all are. I love doing stuff like this. So I'm going to let that sit for a second. I'm going to put this one on top. I'm not centered there, but hopefully you're not going to be able to tell when I'm done. So this is the top of my tree. Put this on there, and then the trick is getting them to be even all the way down. My trees are almost always a little bit crooked. So this is what the tree looks like now. I have made these trees up to 10 rosettes, I think. You can do as many as you want. You just keep making your paper longer and longer as you go. So that's the top. And now this one is ready. It's not oozing out anymore. So it's ready to be put on the bottom of the tree. And my glue stick is running out. So I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm tilting it so I can see if I think I'm centered. I feel like I'm centered. The whole tree looks a little bit crooked, but Depending on how you put them on display, people don't actually notice if they're crooked. So that's the little tree. One thing that I forgot that I was going to do is that I was going to put a bow on these trees. So the brightly gleaming one doesn't have a bow yet. And the bow for this one, oh, I'll use that ribbon. Okay. So I've already made the little star for the top of this one. I used the gold glimmer paper to make this. I cut out the same little star twice. The center is a toothpick that I've cut off just the end of, and then I colored it with a marker, which is why my fingers are green. And I left the point part sticking out because I want to stick it inside here. So I'm going to put just a tiny little bit of glue on there. And then I'm going to decide which part of my tree, I should have done that first, which part of my tree I want to be the front. Stick the star in there. So there it is with the star. And I might add a bow. So if I was going to do a bow, I would use this ribbon, which is the 3/8 inch metallic edge ribbon. This Toile Tidings paper has a very vanilla background, so I would use the vanilla ribbon that has the gold edges, and the gold edges are nice because I have the gold glimmer paper for my little star. And this particular bow, I want long tails, and I'll show you why in a second. You can decorate these trees with tinsel. Stampin' Up! Has a bundle, what's it called? Has a bundle in the holiday catalog that has this, it has this tinsel stuff, and this would be really pretty on the tree. It's not called a bundle, it's called something else. Can't remember what it's called right now. I can put it in the description below. So I've made this bow, and I'm going to attach it right here. I maybe should have made my star a little bit bigger, but I didn't want the star to be too big either and overpower the tree. So I'm going to put this on here. Ouch! Hot glue is hot by nature, and I stuck my finger on the back and it got me. So that attached to my bow, lost some skin. And the reason I made my tails long is because you can, this has strings all over it. The frustrating part of working with a glue gun. You can attach these down in strategic places. Looks like I'm going to want this to be about that long. So I could attach it down, or I could just let them hang. I think for now I'm just going to let them hang. So let me know what you think of my cute little tree. I'll put all the dimensions that I used to make it in the description below, as well as the names of the other crafters who are participating in this collaboration. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.